Alright guys, it's time to go through my PlayStation Vita collection and resort all of it in the game room. I've only just begun, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing to keep my games organized throughout the process. I'm cutting all the time-consuming stuff out for you guys, but for me, I need to put some anime on in the background. Now, as you can see from this previous picture I took, I had reserved 2 columns of games on my shelves just for PlayStation Vita. Well, I still had a lot of Japanese games to go through and limited editions that I needed to open so that I can put the game cases on this shelf for easy access. I realized pretty quickly that even if I remove this Retro City Rampage display, I'm still going to need more space for Vita games. So I've freed up an additional column of shelf space. This means all of my Super Nintendo games need to move over one column, and I'm going to have to cut into this miscellaneous area. So I'm going to be removing some of the knickknacks and games I just haven't played in a while for stuff like PlayStation 2, Master System, and Nintendo Wii. I'll move these to a shelf in the storage closet. This means I need to properly space this column of shelves for Super Nintendo games. Now, in order to get my shelves this perfect for Super Nintendo and Vita, I had to actually drill my own holes. One question I get asked quite often is which type of shelving I'm using. Now, I can't remember the name offhand, but I'll put it in the description below so you can check that out. I purchased 3 of these shelves over the course of a few years. Now, sometimes I bought them from Amazon and sometimes it was from Walmart online. Just whoever had the best price at the time of purchase, because the prices do fluctuate. So make sure you're getting the best deal before you place an order on them. These are great shelves because they're just the right depth, they don't waste space, and they fit a ton of games. Now, if you aren't as picky as me about maximizing space, you can use the pre-drilled holes. There are quite a few of them to choose from. Alright, so the other thing I need to do is arrange my limited editions, because right now they're all located all around the room on various shelves, mixed in with PlayStation 4, Super Nintendo, 360, and some systems. What I want to do is take this whole top shelf just for Vita limited editions. So I need to take everything down and I'm going to sort everything by system as I bring it down. This is a great time to do some dusting and catalog everything in the database. So I'm just using Spreadsheets in Google Drive because it's free and I can access it from anything with internet access like my phone, desktop, or tablet. I've set up 2 spreadsheets, one for all of my Vita games and another just for my Vita limited editions. I wanted something separate for my limited editions because I want to catalog everything that is included within the LEs. Now, this probably isn't as important for most people, but since I feature Vita related stuff on my YouTube channel pretty frequently, it's useful if I can do a search and find anything that includes an art book or maybe a soundtrack. Maybe I want to do a video on limited editions that include wall scrolls. Anyway, you get the point. You can customize your spreadsheets with whatever information is relevant to you. In my main Vita spreadsheet, I decided to include the region. So I have a drop down for North American English, European English, Japanese, Asian English, or Asian Chinese. I can always add more of these if I need to, but these are the primary types of games that I have in my library. Then I have the title ID. This is pretty useful for searching a very specific version of a game. Now, looking at the title ID, that can also tell you things like the region and whether or not it's a first or third party title. I also have a field for the edition. So if the game is out of a limited edition, I'll list that here. Maybe it's a super duper gold edition, whatever the case may be, or I'll leave it blank if it's just a standard edition. PSTV is for when I test the game to see if it's PlayStation TV compatible. Yes, no, or update means it's only compatible after downloading an update patch. Or I'll leave it blank if I'm unsure and need to test it still. Notes are just for additional things that I want to remember. I'll put something like needs a label here if I need to print an English spine label for it. I like to print English spine labels for my Japanese games so that I can alphabetize them a bit easier. I stick these over the outer plastic and not directly to the paper cover art. This way I can remove it easily if I need to. And finally, I have a field for alternative title. So if I'm searching to see if I have a game and there is another name that it goes by, I'll make sure that I find it this way. This is especially useful for certain Japanese games. Sometimes people put the titles in translated English, and sometimes the titles are in Romaji, which is just Japanese words spelled out using the English alphabet. So this way, if I see a title online and I'm like, do I have that? I can make sure that it will pick up even if they use an alternative title. So this process is very time consuming. I wish I had started making the databases a long time ago when I first started collecting on the Vita, but it'll all be worth it for me in the long run, especially the limited edition contents being cataloged for future YouTube videos. Now that the top shelf is completely cleared off, I'm going to arrange the Vita limited editions so that all of the North American limited editions are grouped together. This is because I already have every North American limited edition for the Vita, and there aren't any more being made, so I really won't have to worry about moving things around here in the future. Now everything else will go next to that, like the Japanese and European LEs, and these will probably get shuffled around as I get more of them in the future. This always feels so good, putting everything in order, getting a better idea of what I have, and doing some deep cleaning in the process. All right, we got everything organized. I'm feeling a lot better knowing where everything is at. Also, I've been playing Habroxia 2, and I can tell you it is so much better than the first game. And the first game was pretty good too, so I'm really excited to get that physical copy in too. But let me know, guys, what you would like to see me do next. If you got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. We've got lots more coming up, so stay tuned.